Perfect. So the recording has started. Hi, everyone. My name is Lola Clayton. I am a career advisor here at WGU. I want to thank you so much for your time this Friday afternoon. I am chiming in from the great state of Virginia, where it is probably about 70 degrees today. A little warm, but I like this weather. Maybe some of you like fall. I know I'm a big fall person, so I definitely enjoy this type of weather. Can't get too hot, can't get too cold. It's just right. So welcome. Thank you for your time and your attention. This afternoon, our workshop will be all about navigating your career moves using Handshake. So, what we'll talk about is just how to use Handshake for your job search, how to filter through it. Hopefully, most of you have a Handshake profile. If you don't, no worries at all. We'll navigate as to where and how you can get started. So, I will advance to the next slide and we will get right into the thick of things. So just a few warm-up reminders. I definitely want to ensure all of you are respected. Your time is respected. It means a lot to me as well as to our team. So during the presentation, please, by all means, take care of yourself, move around, stretch, get comfortable. If you have any questions, though, I will be toggling back and forth between the chat box as well as the presentation slides. So any questions that you have, I have one request. Just put a Q in front of your question, because sometimes I find with these workshops, we all like to share. I know I can get personal and share some of my experiences, especially professionally, working through resumes and interviewing and connecting with employers. And I invite you, as a matter of fact, I encourage you to do the same. So if you would like to do so, by all means, just put it in the chat for me. But if you have a question and it's related to the content, then just put a Q in front of your question and I'll make sure that I will get to it and answer it. Second up is if you would like to reach out to a team member, myself included, you can email us at careers@wgu.edu. We are happy to connect with you. We do offer what we call same day phone advising. So if you call, you leave a message, then an advisor will be more than happy to reconnect with you on the same day to help answer and support any career related needs you may have. You can call the number that you see on the screen. If any calls that are after the 2 p.m. Mountain Time or Eastern Time, if you're on my time zone, which will be 4 p.m. here now, then they will be returned the next business day. And keep in mind, this presentation is being recorded for your public viewing, and the presentation link and recording link will be sent out to you by Wednesday of the upcoming week. So as we venture into our agenda today, we'll talk about Handshake, why Handshake is important, things that you can do with Handshake. We'll talk about some features, some benefits, and then you can definitely take back some nuggets to navigate your own job search for Handshake. And just quick question for the audience: who already has a Handshake profile, or you're familiar with Handshake? I'm just curious. You can just uh, tap into the chat and say yes, have a profile. Okay. I see someone raise their hand. Yep, I do. Perfect. Yes, looks good. This just gives me an idea of who's using it already, who's not. So no right or wrong here. Just curious of if the tool is being used. Raise hand. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Good to know. Definitely good to know. So one thing about Handshake, it is our premium primary resource for active students and alums to connect with employers and for employers to connect with you. So it is the main source that we'll use if you have connected with an advisor and you're talking about your job search or you're engaged in an active job search. More importantly, one question they're going to say is, are you using Handshake? There are so many benefits and features to Handshake. Some of them, though, you really have to dig to find them and use them appropriately. And also employers use Handshake. They look for students. They look for active students with their resumes that have a maximum profile that is created all the way to the 100% capacity. So employers are looking for talent on Handshake, and then active students and alum are looking for talent as well. But why Handshake? Why use Handshake? So here's just a couple of fun facts. Handshake has over 13 million active student users. So that includes WGU as well as other college and university partners. So 1,400 partners. But the real key big thing here is 850,000 employers. So when people say, I'm not able to find a job or I'm having a difficult time finding a job, I encourage you to just use Handshake. Handshake is a great tool just to look for positions. Now, elevating into the interview process and connecting with employers is another thing, but at least having the exposure to different employers that are out there, 850,000. And so the plus sign lets us know that it's over that many. So quite a few are out there for you to connect with. All right. And so a couple of other fun things. Handshake in the news, featured in Bloomberg, Forbes, as well as Fast Company. Handshake takes aim at LinkedIn with 200 million at fundraise. So just some fun facts about Handshake. Gen Z job seekers are finding careers, building working relationships in a brand new way. So in a virtual platform, if possible, which eventually leads to an in-person platform. So these are just some fun facts as to why Handshake is critical and helpful and supports your needs. One way to explore Handshake is four top ways. Of course, log in. So I saw many of you said yes, that you have a um, profile that's working. So you can log into Handshake, upload your resume, complete your profile again to 100% capacity, and then start your search for companies of interest. That search could be in maybe your fields of interest. So if you're going to school for cybersecurity or IT, healthcare, education, business, accounting, operations, all types of positions are listed, all different, a variety of business titles. Marketing is another one. Nursing administration is another one. So you can use Handshake to explore whatever it is that you're looking for. I was talking to someone just earlier in the week and they asked about procurement. So procurement is also, if that is your profession and something that you're into, then procurement is definitely an opportunity for you to be able to search on Handshake. This is just a quick snapshot of how to search for jobs on Handshake. So Handshake does have a YouTube tutorial. It's a little less than 2 minutes in length. It will walk you through of how to use the filters to search on Handshake, utilizing various keywords. So what you and I may think are keywords from different job postings may be different keywords that Handshake recommends for their algorithm and to be able to find positions. And then more importantly, you can save positions that you like. So if you want to go back to it, or maybe you need to modify or customize your resume for any reason, then you can definitely save that particular position. You can also follow a company to see what new positions they have open. Have they updated or changed maybe their recruiting contact or their HR contact? You can also see if there are any other WGU students that have been employed with that particular organization. So a lot of fun fact features with Handshake. So we've talked a lot about the benefits. Many of them I've touched on, but again, just more importantly, to reiterate, Handshake is a great way to meet employers. So someone said to me not long ago, well, I'm on Handshake, I have a profile, and all I'm getting is employers reaching out to me for sales jobs. And I'm in accounting now. I don't want to do sales anymore. I don't want to go back to that. No worries. Take Handshake and use it in the reverse. Have you considered reaching out to the employers of interest? Employers also take the time to create a profile. On their profile, normally there is a point of contact listed. Now, sometimes it could be a generic email, recruiting at coca-cola.com or something like that, but they do provide a point of contact as part of their profile. They will provide what jobs they have posted. They also host events. So have you considered using Handshake in reverse to just connect with employers, save the employers, set up alerts for employers, reach out to them directly via messaging? And we'll talk a little bit about that as we advance through the presentation. Have you found a job of interest and apply in a few clicks? So maybe you are, I'll use this example just because I took my car to get inspected today. I was sitting waiting for the inspection to complete. You can download the Handshake app. You can search for different positions. You can save on the app, or if you have your resume and your profile completed, you can go ahead and proceed to apply. Now, the one thing I caution about applying in a few clicks is you want to make sure you really look through the job posting and make sure you have keywords and your resume is customized to the particular job posting that you're applying for. If it's already customized, then absolutely applying in a few clicks is going to be helpful for you. But just keep that detail in mind, that employers are really looking for your qualifications. And so you don't want to just apply quickly and miss out on any qualifications or any skills that is necessary for that employer to know. But you do have that capability to do so. Just apply quickly on the app. You can save postings, receive notifications. You can do some career exploration. That's really important. Maybe you are not ready to graduate. Perhaps you just started your academic program and you want to know what positions are out here. Many times I'll ask, okay, you've selected and you've enrolled in the accounting program. Why accounting? What interests you about accounting? And so someone once said, well, there's stability there. I know accounting is always going to be around. There's always work for me to do in tax season and beyond. So I definitely understand that. So you can do some career exploration about the positions that are out there before you even start to apply. That's really important. The other great thing with that career exploration piece is that you can look at different job postings from different companies. Look to see what themes are being provided from each posting. Are they asking for someone that can do audit, income statements? What do you see that's repeated through various job postings? So that's going to be really, really helpful for you. Again, if you're doing some exploratory work and you're ready to start crafting your resume, or you want to know what key skill sets employers are seeking, that exploration piece can be provided to you via Handshake by just looking at the postings, by connecting with employers. You can also, according to bullet 4, schedule appointments with employers, participate in Q&A sessions. Employers do have employer-led events that rotate throughout each month, different employers, and we'll talk about that again towards the closing of this particular workshop. Bullet 5 helps us to appreciate that you can build your network. So you can attend virtual job fairs. Sometimes employers host their own personal job fairs virtually. You have an opportunity to message with your peers as well, message with the recruiters. After maybe you've attended an employer-led event, you can message with that employer and set up time to meet with them individually, maybe via WebEx, or if they are local within your area, meet with them in person. So Handshake has again a plethora of benefits to be able to help you as you navigate your job search, or at least do your research about specific positions and or the industry that you've selected. So just a couple of things to talk about with your job search using Handshake. So you can follow your favorite employers. So some may be Amazon. Others have asked about Ernest and Young. Some have said Deloitte is one of their favorites. So CDC is another one. Just a few, just to kind of name. And so you can set up those alerts to follow the employer. So each time they post a new position, you're one of the first to know. Or if they post an event. So if they have an upcoming event and you want to participate or you want to register, you can definitely follow them so you'll know when those events are occurring. If you're unable to attend, you can ask about a recording. So that's really important. So maybe it conflicts with your work schedule or something else that's happening, then you can get the recording to listen to it or even to make that contact later. If you are interested in remote employment opportunities or work from home, the way you can filter and search for different roles is you can use remote in your filtering box, or work from home, or WFH, or even virtual. So most of these keywords will help you find the position. Bullet 3 reminds us that some positions are remote and employers don't necessarily post that, or the position may have a hybrid option and it's not necessarily posted on the job description. So keep in mind, if it is a position of interest that you are targeting, then you can potentially ask the employer or the recruiter, is this position remote? Does it have an opportunity to work from home? Maybe if you apply and you advance through the interview, you can ask, is that a negotiation? So we do a workshop on salary negotiation, and sometimes negotiating an opportunity to work from home is a benefit that many want. They want to take advantage of that to be able to work in their own environment. If you are looking for remote opportunities, I'm happy to share with you the link that you see here of how to locate remote jobs via Handshake, if that's something that interests you. So I'll share that with the recording once it's sent out. When you're using Handshake, here are the top 5 steps. Of course, you want to use job titles or company names if you're familiar with that, or if you're looking for also what they call job roles. So, and you see that down at our very last bullet point. So job roles could be something like maybe a marketing intern, or if you are looking for like a procurement specialist. So you can type in different job roles or different titles. You can filter by your location. That's another thing I often hear. Well, an employer reached out to me, but they're in Utah and I'm in Nevada, so I'm not going to be able to fulfill that position, although it sounds promising. Well, you can filter by your location. Again, 850,000 employers have created a profile via Handshake. So I'm certain there will be maybe not a plethora of them, but there will be some that are within your area. So you can filter by location. You can also filter by shifts, so full-time or part-time status, or if you are anyone that's healthcare that's participating on the workshop today, maybe a PRN status is something that you're looking for. You can search for internships as well, so you can filter through it for various internships if you are an active student and you're trying to get a launch on the industry you selected. Keep in mind that employers post new jobs on a daily basis. And through those new jobs that are posted, we have an employer relations team member that goes in and approves those jobs. They review them, they make sure that they're valid, they make sure the company is valid. So, unlike some other job boards, maybe like Indeed or even Monster, where any and everyone can just post a position and it's just posted for anyone to review. These particular positions that are posted on Handshake for you to view are indeed validated by a human and not necessarily an artificial intelligence service. So we do look at them, we do ask questions or push back if there's not enough information. Looking for a job is a job in itself. I'm certain many of you will agree with that. If you have been in an active job search, keeping up with your resume, how you customize it, who you've applied to, if they've called back, what emails you've received, what maybe rejections you've received. So that is all work and it takes time. So with that value of time, we want to make sure that the positions that you target and you apply for on Handshake have indeed been validated. We talked a little bit about the quick apply or apply externally option. So this indicates that, of course, you can quick apply on the app, or if you decide, you can go straight to the employer's website, their home site. So you can bypass Handshake, or maybe the position is posted on Handshake, but you feel more comfortable applying on the employer's home site. You can definitely do that. Sometimes, though, recruiters are often using Handshake and they may miss the mark and they may post the position on Handshake but forget to post it on their home site. Or if maybe they're not getting a lot of hits on their home site, they may post it on Handshake just to advance or increase or open more of that talent pool. So definitely take a look at what's offered on Handshake as far as postings, and then also maybe taking a peek at the employer's external site if that's something that you feel comfortable with. I see a couple of questions came through on the chat or statements. It says there are quite a few that have misleading items in the description. It says on site when the title says remote. Got you. Definitely an opportunity if you're able to connect with the employer for clarification on that as well. Normally again, on the employer's profile, they post their contact information. So if you feel comfortable, reach out to them. And if not, on Handshake, you can also see where they are on LinkedIn. Sometimes there's a recruiter for that particular company on LinkedIn that you can ask just to clarify, is it a remote position or not? Great thought with that. Also, some employers don't hire remote workers in certain states, so watch for that. Gotcha, understood. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely. I'm certain maybe in rural areas, or if they don't have a home base nearby, and they need you to maybe come into the office once in a while, that they may not. So thank you for sharing that. That's a very key statement. All right. So attend upcoming career events. So hopefully you can see this slide. I think the font is just a little small, but this is going to be where you can find employer connection events, or those employer-led events. And if we have time in the latter part of the hour, I'll definitely take you to our career professional development site so you can see where this listing is provided. But this just gives you an idea of different employers. Also, some sessions are co-hosted and partnered with a career advisor or even an employer relations advisor. But this lets you know which companies are coming. Maybe these are some companies that you've targeted. But this also shows you some information that they talk about. So Smart Sheets is something that's used. Maybe the VP of Lego is providing a fireside chat where you can just kind of talk to them directly about, how do I apply? What do you look for in applicants? Are there positions open in compliance and risk analysis, or analytics? I'm sorry. What's out there for, or what should I do if I want to be a employee with Lego? So that's pretty much what those fireside chats are. Some employers also support Resume 101. So if you are wondering, does my resume stand up and brand me as well as I want it? Does it represent me? Does it talk about all of my qualifications and things that I'm able to fulfill in a role? So there are also employers that take advantage of the time to kind of connect with active students again and alumni. So this just gives you an idea. Normally there are different employers for different levels of academia. So like Cleveland Clinic is a healthcare employer. And then there are others, the Princeton Review. But keep in mind, no matter what academics you are targeting right now, if it was an education employer, maybe you're an IT student, if you have the time, definitely take advantage of registering for their events. There may be some IT positions, and you can talk with that recruiter about those positions within the education department or within the education district. And if they don't have any open, I'm certain they are familiar with another recruiter that does. So just take advantage of building relationships and building connections with employers, even if they don't have something specific to offer you that you're looking for. Maybe it's, again, an accounting position or a healthcare administration position. You can always ask. I definitely encourage, even for education, if you're a healthcare administration, sometimes there are different positions within certain education districts that are healthcare related outside of just being a in-person school nurse. Sometimes there are some healthcare or therapy required positions. I've seen some of those and others. So I just encourage, use Handshake to build connections with employers. Don't just limit it to specific employers that are relevant to your degree. Any questions with that? Once you've connected with an employer, then you can often message them on Handshake. And this is just a few messaging tips. Using that messaging feature, employers have actively made themselves available. They have created, again, that profile on Handshake with the intent to connect with you. So I've heard some say, well, I don't know if I really want to send them a message. The messaging app is out there. When an employer creates a profile, they come with the knowledge that a student may message you. You may get a message from an alumni. You may get a message from someone who's a career changer, or you may get a message from someone who has applied and they have not heard back about their application. So that comes with the ability to create a profile and understand that that is the channel to be able to connect and find talent, or answer questions and problem solve for anyone that has applied. It's also a safe way to build relationships. And communicating with them via messaging shows that you are a self-starter. You take your profession and your career very seriously. So you are looking for answers. Again, looking for a job is a job in itself. You've spent a lot of time on your resume. You've been a lot of time just developing your skill set. So you're following up. You just want to know the status of your application, or what are the steps for you to be a considered applicant for with a company. You can message employers to find out more details about a job. Someone mentioned a little bit earlier, be cautious of what's remote versus what's not, or if there's a remote option in your state, or maybe it's not. So this will is also an opportunity to message the employer to get some extended details and again clarification. It gives you an opportunity to learn more about the company. Some have taken advantage of even asking the recruiter via messaging, do you have about 3 to 5 minutes where I can just ask you a few questions about a position, or ask you a few questions about what will make me a great candidate, or even about the salary. So sometimes the salary is posted. Do you have 3 to 5 minutes for me to ask you about what the salary range looks like? Or I'm an internal employee already working for your company, so I just have some questions about your thoughts on applying for a different position, even though I'm an internal employee. Using the messaging tip also helps you prepare for interviews and answer again any questions that you may have. Just curious, for those of you that do have a Handshake profile, have you taken advantage of the messaging feature on Handshake? Have you messaged with employers, or have employers message with you? Okay. See a couple that say no. Yeah, okay. See a yes, a thumbs up. Perfect. Definitely use it. If you have it, I encourage it. Again, I can't reiterate enough that when employers create their profile, this is part of one of the benefits that come with Handshake. And so if you are apprehensive about it, book an appointment with an advisor so we can help provide you with some talking points, or maybe some sample verbiage that you can use, so that you are not oversharing on the messaging, but you're also being very direct and assertive about what questions you are that you have that you want to ask the employer. Thank you all for your engagement with that question. Much appreciated. All right. So who's hiring? That's the big thing. They want to know who's hiring, what employers are out there. And this is just a peek. This is just a snapshot of different employers that we work with that are out there. Again, 850,000. So I couldn't put all 850,000 into one slide. But what my goal was here is to at least show you by different areas and different industries which employers we're working with, which employers are hiring, which employers are posting positions. And so if you're in media or in marketing, or if you're looking for a government agency, even education, technology is your thing, then these are different employers that you could potentially connect with and reach out to for next steps, for application process, to review my resume, or even to see if they're going to participate in a fireside chat, or host an information session, or even a virtual career fair via Handshake. So just wanted to give this overall snapshot to you of a few employers that are out there. Now these rotate, revolve, and they change as the workforce climate changes. So these are just, again, some of the ones that are out there. All right, so I'm going to take a few minutes to just stop sharing, and I'm going to pull up the Handshake blog, which I think is very important to know about Handshake. So if you can see my screen, if you don't mind just popping in the chat, just letting me know that I have successfully relaunched the sharing portion. Wonderful. Okay, good. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so find more information that you're looking for. Handshake has blogs, Handshake has articles. about their features and what they offer. And this is just a really good way to find out more information. Perhaps you are not someone that's interested in connecting with the employer right away. Maybe again, you fall in that category of career exploration. You're just exploring. You just want to know what's out there. You want to see more about Handshake, what they can do. So Handshake has different articles, top 100 companies that are hiring students on Handshake right now. This is a 1 minute read, so it tells you how long it is. It tells you what particular employers are out there in the top 100. If getting hired remotely is something that you're looking for, and why your profile really matters. So I talked a bit about making sure your profile is elevated or filled to 100% capacity. Your profile really matters. That is what the employers are looking for. And it also provides you with some tips of how to alert an employer that remote is exactly what you are targeting. There are sometimes student events, or if you are trying to discover what career works best for you. So if you're in IT, 5 types of IT careers and how to choose which one is best for you. Even certifications. So that sometimes that 11-minute read, that article goes into extended information about certifications. Sometimes even employers that are looking for specific certifications that are trending. Maybe tech sales is something that you're interested in. Finding a job, which is about 90% of why Handshake is created. So if you are looking for technical writing jobs, technicians, service technicians, if you are in healthcare, how to find a job, what to do. So these are different articles that can definitely point you in the direction of things that you may be searching for. And what's better than a good testimony or a good story, right? So if you're looking for some real life and some live information about success that others have had with Handshake, then these are definitely some great articles that you can check out. And so this is one of my favorite things. Who's hiring on Handshake? I think that's really, really important. Talks about some of the best employers for this year and for last year, and even some talent awards. And then interview tips. If you are preparing for an interview, here's some recommendations about your soft skills, your resume objectives, or as we like to, or we prefer, professional profiles or professional summaries, and a step-by-step guide. Preparing for your interview, some steps, maybe even some sample questions. And then if you're looking for different job roles based off of your industry, how you can find them and explore them. So these blogs can be very helpful for you to review. So for those of you that do have a profile, have you had an opportunity to check out any of these blogs? And again, I'm just curious. Or have you found the blogs to be helpful? Handshake is, yes, limited to students and alumni. Yes, you must be a student in order to take advantage of it. Yep, absolutely. So I see some said they haven't looked. Yep, some of them are pretty useful. Yep, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate that. They can be. And again, if you have an opportunity, if the read may be long, I know for me, I just don't have 12 minutes right now, but I got a minute to spare, but I may not have 12 minutes to spare. Then definitely take an opportunity to click on the a link, copy and paste the URL, and maybe it's something that you can read a little bit later at a later time, or something that you can share with someone else that maybe is looking to get hired remotely, or looking for a job role, or even share some information with the employer. I found the 100 found your name or your company on the 100 best employers, or the 100 employers that are hiring in 2023. Can you tell me how you got there, and how can I be a part of your growing team? So just some things to share. All right. And so I want to also show you, and I know I had this slide up a little bit earlier, but I want to show you on the career page. So this is the home page for career professional and development. Have any of you visited this page before? This is often where you find our career coaching information, Okay, resumes, our resume tutorial, interviewing. Perfect, perfect. Good to know you use these resources. Excellent. So at the very top in the menu bar, it says contact us. So if you click on contact us and you scroll down, the fourth option is going to be Handshake. So you can click on Handshake, and this will tell you more information about Handshake, what it is. If you need help, this is the help center. So if you have an account, if you can't access your account, if you need to log in, how to avoid scams and being safe on Handshake. Now, I did um, advise you all that our employer relations team manages Handshake and manages jobs. But again, some may slide in there that we may overlook unintentionally, of course. So definitely read through information about how to stay safe and avoid any job posting or job search scams via Handshake if possible. And definitely additional information on connecting with employers, talking about how easy the access is, employer connection events, and then my favorite part, of course, is the Q&A. So if you have an account or if you're considering creating a Handshake account and different Handshake topics, how do I log in as an alumni? How can I be mobile with Handshake? Perhaps you attended another university. I spoke with someone just recently, and they attended another university and they have dual Handshake accounts. So they want to delete their previous university account and just make sure their WGU account is active. If you want some of your notification preferences at default so that they're easy for you. So Q&A definitely is helpful. All you have to do is hit the arrow down, and then it will send you to exactly where you can get the answers to these questions. And we talked a little bit about just being cautious on Handshake, of course. Here are some warning signs and some reminders, as well as some best practices when you're researching employers, and then to, of course, learn more about Handshake. So I hope this information was helpful for you, especially using Handshake, what Handshake has to offer. Just a few friendly reminders. Keep in mind that employers are active on Handshake on a daily basis. On a daily basis. I had one recruiter to say, they have had their posting open on their home website or their external website, and they just weren't getting any applicants. Just none were applying, or the few that they applied were potentially not qualified. So guess where they posted the position, and guess where they started to scour and look for talent? Handshake, of course. And so, with that being said, employers may post a position, but keep in mind a recruiter's function and their role is to find talent and to fill positions within their organization. So I say that to encourage you and to remind you, make sure your profile is at 100%. Make sure your resume has been uploaded. Another question that came from a previous workshop was, well, if I am customizing my resume, if I only upload one resume, then that's going to be the only one that the employer sees. That will be the only skill set. If that is indeed your scenario, then utilize a skills-based resume. The skills-based resume is an opportunity for you to share any skills, any qualifications, a cumulative amount of them on your resume that you want the employer to know about you. Now, if you are a career changer, you don't want to include the previous professional skills that you have, but the ones that you're targeting. So if you are changing, maybe hypothetically from being a teacher to doing cybersecurity, then on your skills-based resume that you upload to your Handshake profile should be all about cybersecurity. It should be all about your IT knowledge. It should be about the certifications that either you've acquired or you're targeting. It should be about any projects that you're working on. So you want to feed the employer the knowledge of what your career profession pathway and outlook is now, not what it was before. So just wanted to make sure I shared that with you. And of course, your profile is yours to change and modify at any time. So if you need to change out your resume and maybe that skills-based option is not one that you prefer, no worries. You can always change it, but just keep in mind and note that employers are active on a daily basis on Handshake. They're looking for you. They're looking for you to fill positions. They're also looking for you to participate in any of the events that they host. So with that being said, I am going to stop sharing. I am also going to stop the recording at this time.